Yo, what's going on? DJBooth.net. This is DJ Blaze here, and I'm coming at you to bring you a quick feature video of the Numark V7s. So here we have them, folks, the Numark V7s. This is one of the newest media controllers brought to you by Numark DJ Division. And right out of the box, these things are made very rugged, very solid, and very, very strong. They're a full all-metal construction. The top portion, which you usually see, is a brushed aluminum blackened effect here, while on the side we have a coarse or more rough type silver metal material around the sides and the bottom of the unit, no doubt giving us more protection. All of the buttons here are made of a soft rubbery material. They all have a click so you know exactly when it's pressed, and they all have an illumination so that way you know at a glance exactly what parameters are selected at the time. Everything was very easy to set up. The platter and everything is all metal construction. There's no wobbles or no shakes whatsoever to the design. I anticipate that these units will hold up for years and years to come. I mean, this is one of the best construction jobs that I've ever seen from any Numark device whatsoever. So back to the setup. Setup was very easy. It came with the platter. You just throw the platter on top of the spindle. Next up you have your slip mat. And then you place your record on top. On top of that, you place the spindle, or actually the spindle already comes within the record, sorry. And after you place the record on top, it's all held together by this little screw here. You guys can see the opening. And that screw can be adjusted to give you a very tight feel or either a looser feel, depending on if you're scratching or if you're mixing more. Along with the setup, next up was to cable everything together. It was very easy to do. If you're going to use two V7s, as I am here, we're going to set one deck to deck A as the master and the other deck to deck B. That way we can link the two together so that we only need one USB cable to connect both V7s to our computer interface. So here we have the RCA cables. Deck A here, in this case, is the deck that we're on, and that goes into channel 1. Deck B is here, RCA as well. This goes to channel 2. This actually controls the output of our second deck, which is over here. So only thing coming out of this second deck here is our RJ45 cable, which is actually a link cable between the two V7s for communication. Next we have the power cables, of course, and coming out of our master deck we will have the USB cable, which is go from the USB all the way over here to the computer. Once you plug that into the computer, all you have to do is load up the software. The software here is the Numark Itch Serato, Serato created software. It was very easy to use, very easy to set up. We didn't have to go in and change any settings or any parameters. This was just straight plug and play operation. This was actually the easiest media controller to software setup that I have ever done. I mean, it was very, very easy. Anyone could do this setup. It was almost like installing a printer. So from there, I'll take you to the upper left hand portion of the unit, which is our loop function here. It's a whole loop center where we can automatically or manually adjust or make loops. Very easy to use. We'll play some music so you guys can see how we use this. Loop in, loop out. And now we got our loop set. We can half the loop. We can half the half. We can half the half the half. And we can turn it off, or we can double the loop. Looping section works very easy. You can loop shift so you can cut it and trim it or grow it as necessary when you have it in manual mode. Automatic mode will adjust it automatically through BPM, through the Itch software. Next up, down here we have the Platter Controls, which are the stop time and the start time knobs, which will adjust the startup or stop speed of the motor. So I always set them very sharp because, you know, I like scratching, but we can set them to very slow. So the platter starts up very slow, or we can set it to where, and it will stop just as slow as it started. So, and we also have here the reverse function of the platter, playing the normal. And then we can click the button down here to reverse, and that will have the platter reverse. Or we can have it play in this new form factor they have here called the bleep. And when that is activated, the actual platter still continues to spin forward while the track will play in reverse while keeping in with the track timing. Alright, next up we have the FX section of the V7s here, and this includes a power on off button for the effect. We have a wet and dry slider which will control exactly how much of the effect is on the actual track. We have a FX parameter key here, a knob here, which we can turn to adjust the frequency or the how often of the BPM that you guys will hear the effect loop. And we have an FX select knob that actually corresponds to the program here, where you can select the next effect to the left while the effect that's currently selected is to the right, which is a delay in this case. So we can play that. Next up we have the sync button, cue button, and play and pause button. The play and pause button is somewhat like a motor on-off function, as it's controlled by that start and stop time knobs that I showed you guys earlier. We have the cue section here, which will cue the first cue point, and we also have a sync button here, which will sync the BPM between the deck number 1 and deck number 2. It does that by locking the pitch controls here and setting them up so that they match. Also here we have 5 hot cue banks. They can be set very easy to set. Press hot cue 1, hot cue 2. That's all you have to do to set them. And when you want to go back to them, you just press them. And to delete them, you just highlight them red, press the delete key, highlight it in red, and you take it off. Next up here we have the pitch section. In the pitch section we have a pitch bend button, so you guys can achieve that perfect mix that you guys are always searching for. And we also have the pitch slider here, which is very sturdy, a little bit harder of a plastic than the buttons. And instead of a center click, it has this center illumination, so that when you achieve perfect 0% pitch, it will light up in a blue color. We have the range button here, which when pressed will change the pitch range percentage of the slider between 8%, 16%, and 50%. And we also have a master tempo button here. When depressed, that will actually keep the key of the song playing the same while the pitch or the speed of the song is being adjusted. Last but not least, we have the file navigation system here. It was very intuitive and easy to use. It's a big knob here that you use to select the music in the list here in the itch software. You can go backwards and forwards to navigate. You can navigate through all of the files on the computer pressing the file button, or you can do your prepared list or your crates, which are also like playlists. And when you have the song selected that you want to load, you have load A to load your deck A, and you have load B to load into your other deck over here. So you can do this on both units. It's completely ambidextrous, so that you can select unit A or B from both units, and you can do complete file control for both units from each unit. That pretty much sums it up. Other than that, I love using these units very much. Everything functioned and worked exactly how it was. There was no delays in startup times for the tracks to load. Even when I was using the same source material, everything worked perfectly on both decks, and I have no complaints. Well, I had a few gripes, and one of the gripes that I had was with the platter only being a little too small, because as you can see, it's a 7-inch platter, but when you cut that space down after you have the label here and big fingers, you can easily use an extra inch or two space, and that would have been nice for them to squeeze it in. But overall, that's just a minor gripe. The response time is perfect. I mean, it's not much more you can ask for here. These are ultimate media controllers. They work as needed. For more information, guys, come to djbooth.net. Visit us, pay us a visit, and drop us a line if you want to get in touch with me. You have anything to say about the V7s or any other gear that we review. My DJ name is DJ Blaze. You can find me DJ Blaze at djbooth.net. Again, that's DJ Blaze at djbooth.net, and check us out for the full written review of the Numark V7. Peace.